All right, here we go. This is the maiden voyage of this trailer, and the farthest I've gone with the Super Cheap Super Duty. So hopefully we make it back without any trouble, because I don't really like hauling stuff, and I don't really like, I don't know, traveling. I really don't like anything. So we'll see what happens, and I'll bring you back along the way. Oh, holy Knutson. I haven't even gotten out of the local town yet. I had a couple stops to make real quick, and I didn't think it was going to take forever. And now I'm about an hour behind. So that's great. So I'm typing in my directions here, and I'm hoping that this is going to work easy. It doesn't tell me how many. Oh yeah, 446. Okay. Well, we're going to see what happens, and hopefully no incidents. Alright, well, I think my heart just got back in my chest there. We almost ate it. There was a little car, and I don't know if it was a Kia, I couldn't tell, but they have very, very crappy turn signals. They're like down low, like at road level on the bumper, and it's really small, and it was flashing like they were waiting to turn. And when I came around the corner, I realized that that car wasn't moving, and so I guess that's a warning to everybody else. Watch out if you meet one of those. It looked like a fairly new car, so it almost went down in value, because geez, I could not see that that car had the turn signal on. I mean, it's so hard to see. So yeah, just more fun on the road. Down the hill we go. And then you can see the Monroe Reservoir. So we're in Hoosier country here, headed through Bloomington. But there you go. There's somebody out there on a boat. And there's two people with really low intelligence coming up right here. Yep. Not too smart. Oh, they got a few Olivers hiding around in here. I talked to the guy, and he said he didn't care if I filmed, so he's gonna bring a loader tractor down there, and we're gonna try to figure out our plan of attack on this. But you don't even know yet what it is. All right, we're gonna assess the situation here. Yeah, I've had about 50% success rate. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So it's just, we'll see what happens. All right. We need to slide the wheels in so it fits on the trailer, but I think I'm going to try this one, and if I could just get it slid on all the way, the fender's pretty well junk, so I could bend it over if the wheel interferes and still possibly, you know, simplify this for today. Just get it home and then we can work on it later.
What do you think after looking at it?
I think probably, can we pull it like out on the solid area, and then that way the jack won't sink down, and we'll see what happens. But I think if I can slide if I could just get this one to slide in, this fender's doesn't hurt it because it's pretty well toast anyway. And then if it just, all I gotta do is get it to go on, you know. And it's amazing because this one's sitting in the shed. I pulled one out of the woods one time and they moved easy as could be. No problem at all. And I've had some of these where I've had to beat on, and these spline ones are really bad. Yeah. I brought a big puller thing I made, which I guess if it won't move at all, I could try to put the puller on and pull it off, you know.
And I can always get some heat on it if we have to. We got a small torch set we can throw it in. But yeah, this was sitting in a barn that was about to fall in. My grandpa ended up buying it, thinking that he would get to it, and he didn't. So here it sits.
Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, for what it is, as old as it is, it's not really too beat up. I mean,
no, he was saying, of course, he got it without the side shields, and he said there's a lot of them in the country that probably had the side shields off because they get hot.
Oh yeah, I mean, people took them off, and I bet there was a whole bunch of nice ones hanging on walls and stuff that, that got knocked down, you know. But yeah, I turned it over a while ago, so yeah, it's I'd say it's got potential.
All right.
Yeah, we just get her pulled out on the solid ground there and figure out how much of a struggle it's going to be, but I'll probably just lay that right in the truck so I don't forget about it or run over it or something, you know. There we go. I'd say that'll work. This may be a who knows how long process. We'll have something better to do for a while if it. It'll be here before you know it. I mean, it's starting.
Luckily, he planter last summer. We got to slide one of these in to get it on his trailer.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's, what do you say, 85 inches?
I measured 85 from
outside to outside.
Is there tape on it? Yeah. In my truck there. I've already measured the bud.
I got some blaster in there too. This may not even fit in there like this. Of course, if I got the right size, but alright.
You drove my truck, right? Yeah. He's gonna pull around it. He's pulling around it now. Yeah, for some dumb reason, we decided to start bale straw for this summer.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I said I tried to do that too, and man, when you try to sell it to people, it's aggravating because they want one or two at a time, and then they drive from 100 miles and then complain, why is it so expensive? Well,
yeah.
I mean,
that we lucked out. We ended up with, I mean, not usually would we ever buy something fairly new. That's a 2016. But the neighbor farmer down the road, he's trying to slow down, and he gave us a pretty decent deal on it. So bought that and a rake and broke that sickle bar mower out. That's 1960 something. And gotta get this, at least this north half here, cleaned out so I can
got room to put it in.
Yeah. problem with these is take a lot of your
your impact away.
Yeah. You ever break
Shock.
the truck down?
I might have one in the truck, but and grab that cheater pipe.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to do it. But I didn't think of. I was thinking they were square on both sides, but somebody might have swapped them out by now, you know.
Could have. That's my younger brother.
Okay.
He's a junior now. Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that. He's a very big guy.
Yeah. There's 6 years difference between us. He plays football for Indiana State. He's defensive end. My little big brother.
Your little big brother.
I get hand-me-ups. Pretty nice, honestly.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a Challenger over there, Massey Harris Challenger.
Okay.
My cousin wants to do something with, whether he does or not.
Yeah, that's back in the day there. That's one of those ones where I think the frame is the oil pan.
Pretty much.
The whole.
Yeah. Started it on gas and switched it over to diesel.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's.
No. I wish we had the 3/4 now. You might go back and get that 3/4 set, Joe. And you didn't, but of course I don't have the one that has the warranty on it. The hobo freight.
Yeah, it'll work. Oh, I knew it wouldn't just be simple, you know.
No. Hey Joe. Yeah. You want to go back and get the 3/4 set? That big 3/4.
Where's it at?
It's in that red box under the tool bench.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And make sure the ratchet's in there.
Okay.
And it's breaker bar.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the wheel weight, it probably could probably get the regular socket on.
No.
They like to, back in the day, put them on the inside of the wheel. I don't know. I mean,
we have 656 that he scraped the lot with. Scraped the lot with, and he has 4 on the inside and 2 on the outside. A set of Oliver weights on the outside.
Yeah.
And it's weighted down, but used to maintain 300 head of cattle here. Pretty regular.
Oh, that's pretty good size, then.
Well, of course, we just knocked this bunk out, and there's another smaller one there. Originally, there was 4 pins, and then they went to 2.
So how much straw you think you're going to have?
Well, I was told to put up between 3,500 and 4,000. So, unfortunately, we didn't get the accumulator or anything. So.
Well, I never could get any help. And I was doing it all by myself, and I just finally bailed it on the ground and then go back after dark and pick it up and throw it in a little at a time. But after handling it 3 or 4 times by myself, and then people come and bitch about what it costs, that was enough for me, you know. Yeah. And then nobody wants the wheat like where I am. You take it in the elevator, you had to practically give it to them. I mean, the last truckload I took, they made you sit there forever while they did their science experiments on it, you know, to make sure it was good. And they said, it's good, unload it. And then they sent me the check, and it was $1 a bushel.
What?
They came up with something after the fact that they thought. So if I'd have known that, I would have took it back home. But, you know, it's obvious they don't want it. So it's not hardly worth it. Plus, it's the worst. Like, it's 140 degrees outside on that day. It never fails, you know. So it's finally like, why am I even messing with this, you know? It's just for a little bit. Yeah, you make money off the straw, but, I mean, is it really worth it, you know? If if you can sell a bunch like that, you know, or if you had a buyer that would buy a whole bunch at a time, you know. I had, like, the state called me one time and they wanted straw, but they wanted like 80,000 bales, and I was like, well, I can't help you on that one, you know.
Let me find 120 other guys.
Yeah, I thought about it for a minute. I was like, maybe I should just go on Facebook and buy all the straw I see and be like, I'll have it for you, you know. Just start sending trucks and all. But you'd have to have it up to like $6 a bale at least by then, you know.
That's what it's selling for around here.
Is it really?
And steady. We're fairly close with the guy down the road, and he's already sent some of his business to or directed them to here, and when I picked that up 2 weeks ago, he said, "I've got you 600 sold out of the field."
Oh,
already.
wow.
So
that's a good deal, because if they'll buy it right then, that's the way to go. I love that when people would say, "I'll bring you a wagon and I'll just..." Perfect, because I don't want to have to put it in the barn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. I always thought it'd be neat, and I've never got a good deal on one or found one close by, and I'm sure it wouldn't work like I see it on, you know, but one of those New Holland things where you could drive along and just pick it up and it would stack it. You've seen those things, you know? And I thought, well, that'd be something fun to play with, like an old tractor and do, you know, but you can never find them close by, and they're kind of an awkward thing to haul the way they're shaped, so I don't know. Like if you tried to put one on a deck over trailer, I don't know how you'd really accomplish that without destroying something, so I don't know. But yeah, there's a market for stuff like that, but it's a ton of work. I mean, it's just but it works good, like if you're taking over for somebody who's already got all the...
That's the fortunate thing, you know. Hopefully, to a degree, I'm falling into it's like I'm taking over a business. Yeah. So the customer base is there,
and you don't have to try to hunt them up or all that.
No, and he'd put an honor box out. And,
oh, really? So they're good, honest people then.
Well, yeah, and of course he was right along that highway, 163, right over there.
Okay.
And he said, I'm not saying that a few people didn't walk off with him, but
yeah, for the most part,
it worked out pretty good for him. So now next year maybe I'll get an accumulator and grapple once.
That'd be great. Yeah, if you got a skid loader, man.
Well, we don't.
Well, but that's the reason to get one then.
That's the reason to get one. We have a 666 and a 656, and then a 706 on the other side of the river.
Oh, there you go.
But we're kind of behind in the loader department. But
well, but that really that probably would stack them higher than you could with a skid loader anyway. So that's not a bad deal. I mean,
I just have to get the make or buy
the kind that fits that, like quick attach and all that.
Or the adapter or something.
There's a place, because I looked up doing that for my loader, and what is that place's name? But they had like I think they made one for every brand of loader ever. Like, I'm sure they probably have to make it when you call, but I'm gonna try that. It was like $1,500, and I didn't think that was bad if it's a heavier built, you know, not one of those Chinese ones you find on eBay that'll probably bend up right away. But
made out of 1/4 inch instead of 3/8.
Yeah.
Strip the gears out of this thing.
I have one and I welded it up solid, so now it's a breaker bar. I did it at a 45 degrees so that it was a different angle all the time, you know, than a regular breaker bar.
Oh, that came easy. Unless I spun it.
No, I don't think you did. That's unbelievable. Yeah, it looks like it never moved, but
I know. Just need them loose, don't we? Or you want them
I would say take it to the point where it's flush with the top of the thing, so we can hit it with a hammer here in a minute.
All right.
Because I assume that it's probably, unless I can turn it here in a second, whenever it's. Oh yeah, no, it turned, so
okay.
I don't think it's hurting us. It's in there.
We're at the top of the threads there.
That's good.
Let's see what this one does. Maybe we just picked the right side.
I hope so. I mean, like I said, one of them I ended up sawing the axle so to get the wheels off, and I don't like to do that, but finally, after waiting the whole day on it, it's like enough of this. So. It's easier to put in a press when you've got it in your hand than something like this.
Yep. Just need more teeth on the ratchet.
That's the bad thing about the cheap ratchets. They got like 6 teeth, and you can't find
the right one. I pulled that blue Power Stroke out there. I pulled the turbo off 3 times, and it gets a little quicker, but never quite there. And there's one bolt on the manifold that you can't
get down in there.
Well, hell, I took my cheap set of wrenches and I cut one in half because the midget wrenches don't get on it. Well,
now for the fun part. Yeah. Well, if you want to try that, like with the loader,
yeah,
we could pick it up maybe.
Might be able to.
Probably be safer.
Block one side. I mean, we're not knocking them off. So.
No, we just got to go. I mean, you don't even have to go up but like 6 inches, you know. Just to, Plan C's looking like that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I broke it.
Oh.
I never had that happen before.
Broke the.
Yeah. Oh shit. I mean, it will still hold the wheel.
Yeah.
If we can get it off of there.
Now the steel wheels, you won't use that hub.
No, they go right on there. That's all one piece. The hub,
Yeah.
it's
And
kind of
like,
got its own hub made like that, and the spokes come out of it, you know.
Yeah. And like set screws or something for it.
It's got bolts just like that on the back.
Okay.
They're like in the middle of it.
Okay.
It's equally as difficult to move them off.
Uh-huh.
And those you can't really, that was my problem with this puller. I couldn't get it in there square enough on them to do anything.
Anyhow, you don't need a white planer, do you?
I don't know. It's kind of like what I got, except that's, what is that, a 8?
Like the eight, right?
Took it out.
Yeah.
Well, if I hadn't had my receipt, I don't know what you would have done, you know? I mean, that's too much money to just not worry about it.
I know.
All right, well, plan A didn't work, and then plan B didn't work, so we arrived at plan C. However, I'm going to stop and buy some more chains because I don't want this to fall off of this cribbing and us have a problem. This is not my preferred method, but splined axles, they don't work. And I don't know if you saw that on the camera or not, but we had a very bad day. So that's fine because we're going to put this on steel wheels, but I got to get something to help hold that down. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, we just passed one policeman, so if he's fine with it, hopefully we're going to make it. I don't know. I don't like this setup, but it's the best we could do. I guess I'll bring you back when something interesting happens, like the fiery crash. Well, we might as well make sure everything's still tight. Yeah, good deal. I haven't had anything to eat yet today either, so I figured this would be a good time to do that. So that's what we're gonna do. Holy canoots in the traffic. Now, it's not really too bad right now, but I hit a lot of towns right at the time that school was out, so that's no good. But if you want to go watch a basketball game, Assembly Hall's right over there, so on the other side of all this. Football stadium's right there, and Assembly Hall's just down a little bit farther. I've been there many times with the school bus. Oh, happy day. We made it back home. Thank goodness. I do not like being that far away and hauling stuff, but it worked out okay. The truck did excellent, except for one time I thought I was had. I was coming down the hill and we're getting ready to go over the Monroe Reservoir again, and it downshifted to second gear. It was steep and windy, so maybe it knew or thought that we needed to, you know, hold back. So I thought, well, now we're stuck in second gear and it won't come out, because even if I put my foot on the gas, it would not shift to the next gear until we got out on the flat level. And then after a second it shifted and we went on our way. No more trouble. So that's fine. And it used, let me see here, I filled up just before I left and I filled up when I got back, and we used 20 gallons of gas, which works out to $70. So it cost $70 to do this trip. It was about 200 miles, I think, thereabouts. I'll have to look that up for sure. But yeah, so that's fine. Now this, I'm happy that it turned out, because this was the last resort plan X. I mean, I called it plan C up there, but I knew on the pictures that the wheels were set out all the way, and I knew it wouldn't fit on here. And he even measured it, and it was 85 from outside to outside, and this worked it out. The trailer works out to 80 between fenders. So what to do? Well, my first resort was, we're going to try to slide the hub in. Well, I knew better. I knew that wouldn't work. Never ever have I ever, except on that 6D on steel, have I ever had one where I could slide these out so easy. And we heat and beat, and I don't know how much of that made it into the footage. I'll have to see when I edit. But the only thing we accomplished was breaking a chunk off of here, and I should have known better than that too. That was stupidity. But you see that on a lot of them. You see the hubs brazed up, and this is why. Got too aggressive and got it. So now that I got it at home, I can hopefully get that, you know, loose. I can even take 2 torches if I have to and heat it up from both sides or whatever. We'll get it in some way. It's so close. I mean, it's to the edge of the axle. It should go. If I get the big chisel maybe and wedge in there, I might be able to get her broke loose. And maybe now that it's had a heat cycle and cooled off naturally, it might come off again if I put the puller on. So I might try that. But anyway, so that's the rendition we worked up. We took the wheels off, got it up to the trailer, lifted it up where the wheels were just that far off the ground. I took the wheels off, threw them on the ground, took the tractor and forks and picked it up here. And then when we set it down on there, realized we needed to get some cribbing or something. So they had some old stuff laying around there, and we made it happen. Now, I was woefully unprepared. Again, I don't know why, but I had a whole nother pile of stuff, blocks and another chain and stuff I was gonna bring, and I forgot to put that in the truck this morning. I just left without it. So that left me in a bind, because I had 2 chains and 2 boomers. I call these boomers, this style. But luckily, right up the road from where this was a Tractor Supply. So I went and bought some load binders, ratcheting load binders. I could always call this style load binders and those boomers. We've been through that before. I guess that must be a local thing. I don't know. But anyway, I bought some of these load binders and a couple more chains, and I bought some deck screws, and I screwed all the cribbing together so that none of this could move. Because basically it's not gonna, like this, it couldn't really fall off of there. There would have to be a lot of things happen at the same time for this to flip off of there. If the cribbing would have vibrated out of one side, the chain on the other side should have held it still up off the floor, because remember, the center of the tractor is weighted on there too. So it's just a matter of keeping it from doing this. So that's what the cribbing was for. So I screwed it down. I put that little strap over there to kind of help hold the cribbing down. And then I put these 2 new chains I bought to hold the axles down on the cribbing. And then I got my chain holding back on the tractor, and then one holding forward so that it couldn't go front to back. Couldn't really go side to side. Yeah, that strap is just to hold the sheet metal on, which if you ever haul one, you best be doing that, or you ain't gonna have much sheet metal when you get back where you're going. I should have had another one and I didn't, but luckily that was enough to hold it, so it's fine. The little flap flipped up one time, but when we stopped to eat, then I flipped it back down. It's fine. So yeah, everything made it. I mean, pretty amazing. The seat is in the bed of the pickup. Interestingly enough, I thought, oh, it's got the Ridemaster seat. Somebody made this one. They took a super style seat and they cut up all the frame and they welded it together and made it fit, which is a kind of a neat solution. I mean, the original Ridemaster seat has its own bracket for the 70, but anyway, I just thought that was clever. Somebody did that. But now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, you said that you weren't going to buy any tractors this year so you could focus on the stuff you already have. Well, that was a lie. I think we all knew that was coming. But the real reason is I didn't really break my promise, because this is actually going to go to fix something I already have. So if you remember, I have a 70 on steel with a wide front end sitting under the tree over there that I've had there for like 15 years, and it is garbage. It's not worth it. The transmission, I'm sure, has water in it, and it's probably got a lot of issues too, because the shifter doesn't hardly move. The motor, I found a second motor, but then it ended up that it was cracked, and I kind of got ticked off about that because I bought it as a nice running motor and whatever, and there again, it turned out that I wasn't happy with it. So, and now it's probably stuck too now. So that project was never going to get anywhere. But this one showed up on the old marketplace for $5, and it turns over. And that, my friends, is half the battle right there. So if it turns over, I can make it run. And the story I got was from the feller, which was the grandson, that his grandpa bought it to fix it up, you know, as an antique tractor, to my understanding of his story. So anyway, I don't know how much of that got on film or not, but the grandson bought like a straw baling operation that he's going to be doing, and he needs all of that old dairy barn to be able to store his bales. So he's cleaning up all the stuff that they don't use, and this is one of the things. Now this little thing here has got a lot going for it, believe it or not. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, like, it's not stuck, and it doesn't have a lot of sheet metal side curtain wise, but I got that on that other one. So I do have enough pieces. I actually have tons of 70 pieces. I could probably build half a dozen tractors if I organized it all, but I got enough to put this together the way we want it. Steel wheels on the back, and that wide front, which I've never done a wide front swap on one of these, so that's going to be a new learning experience. I'm hoping I don't have to pull the motor to do that, but I'd say I probably do, which is not a big deal. On a 70, your motor mounts, there's one in the center on the front. I don't know if you can see that. And then the back has 2 pins. So you got to loosen the set screw, and then this hole is threaded, and you can pull that pin out of there if everything goes your way, and you lived a good, clean life. And the other reason that attracted me to this one is it's the same vintage as that other one that's on steel, as in it still has the low down throttle with the notches, and it has the choke down here, which the later ones did not. You know, the later ones had the under the steering wheel setup. So there you go. Also, I don't know what we got here, if this is our radiator shutters. That is the only 70 I have ever had that has that. So that's kind of neat. And I'm not sure if one of them, or maybe the 60, has remnants of the fabric style. You know, it was like a curtain that you unrolled in there. But I mean, it's got decent grills in it. I'm happy with it. Like I said, if we tally our bill from today, we have $500 in a tractor, we have $70 for fuel, and then we have $314 in chains and binders. But that's not I don't necessarily count that toward just this project, because I will use that on lots of stuff throughout my life. So scattered out, I had been wanting to buy more anyway, binders and things, especially now with this trailer, because I want to make a place in the tongue where I can just keep some of that in here, so that there's always at least a couple in the trailer, and you don't have to hunt for them all the time. And then you'll have your regular chains you use every day on stuff. And you know, there's always one on my loader tractor. So I've got chains, you know, and these are supposed to be the heavy grade chains. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but there were 3 different ones, and these are the best ones they had. So yeah, but at any rate, we're slowly coming together. This is a chain and binder I bought when we were going to haul that combine, and that never happened. So, you know, I had my neighbor do it instead. But I'm happy. We'll get this off of here, and we will figure it out somehow. We'll get her to run. We'll figure out. We're probably going to need a water pump. The water pump seems to be locked up. I wonder if they figured that out too and they cut the belt off. But it kind of looks like the belt's been off for a while maybe. But at any rate, we're gonna see what we got. You know, if it runs and drives, we made it. You know, that's all I need. I'm not gonna take the steel wheel 70 out and plow with it every day, so it doesn't have to be the most perfect engine of all. If it just runs and drives, that I can take it out and play with it, you know, that's pretty well all I'm looking for here. But this way, that other project will move along, and I can get that cleaned up from out from under that tree. And then also, that provides me with another thing I've wanted to do for a while, which was yard art. I've got enough tractor carcasses and stuff. I've been wanting to make some out of junk pieces that aren't good for anything else, and, you know, get some implements. I've got a Plowmaster plow that looks like it's been through a fire, so I'm thinking whatever's left of this, or that other one, is going to get that set up, and I'm going to make a spot for it with that plow, flower bed style, you know. And then we're not out anything, because I think on that other one I paid $800 for that years ago when I got it, and basically steel wheels and wide front ends worth that. So we're not out anything on that one, and we'll have, you know, $1,200, probably $1,500 in this complete setup, wide front end on steel when we're done. I don't think that's too bad. I would love to find a set of wide, or a set of steel fronts for that wide front end. They're different than the narrow front. The narrow front have those cupped looking things, but the front, wide front steel wheels were like the same as like the 1827s and that, which is just a regular flat steel wheel. I suppose I could have like Amish people make me some that would look similar. Not perfect, but, you know, get the idea across. But anyway, yeah, it survived the trip pretty well. The fenders, this one was pretty well toast, but it didn't snap off. I'm amazed. I figured that constant vibration would flip or break it off. The other tractor's got good fenders. It's got the other style fenders that are more flat, so we'll probably just put those on and be done with it. And then probably have to correspondingly do the floorboards. I'm not sure if they're the same or different because of the curve. This fender was not this bad when we left, but it has since self-destructed on the way home. Whenever this broke out all the way, it popped the rivets loose. And but these, as far as 70 fenders goes, these actually aren't too bad, because the one on my rubber tired 70, I had to make out of 2 fenders and cut it in half in places, and then laid a patch over it and then smooth it. It was an ordeal because you couldn't find them. So, you know, these aren't going in the garbage. Like I said, they'll more than likely yard art, but if a guy had to have a fender, I could probably take whatever ones I have left and these and make one. But anyway, yeah, so we will get this off of here at somehow, some way, and you know, we'll just do it the same way I put it on, loader tractor. And I'll probably take a couple chains and go. The bad part about a 70 is all those floor panels, you can't really hook around the axle there. I could hook it out here around the axle behind the hubs, and just my bucket's wide enough, I think, one chain on each side, and slowly back it off here where I could get the wheels put back on. We'll put those rubber tires back on it for now, just to hold it up off the ground. And then, yeah, we'll do the heat and beat or whatever we got to do. We tried to use my puller, but it just wouldn't budge. We just didn't have enough stuff, and I didn't want to waste their whole day. Those two guys were super awesome. I can't say enough good things about them. They're pretty good people, and they helped and worked to help me get it figured out how to get it on here. And yeah, we made it happen. So I'm glad we were able to do it in a reasonable amount of time, so we didn't waste all their time, because that yeah, we didn't need to do that, but I didn't want to waste their whole day. They were working on their planter, a Kinsey planter, when I pulled up there, and they had several Olivers over the years and whites. They still had, I think, an 1855 in the shed, and they had a, oh, what did he say, a 2135 and a 285 or 2105. But anyway, so they had several. They had a lot of IH stuff too. So anyway, I'm gonna call this a success. We made it back, we didn't die, and I think everything that we put on the trailer made it the whole way. So our big hurdle now is just unloading and, yeah, getting our wheels put back on. So that's where we'll call this one. And as always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. That helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment. Tell me that you liked it, or tell me that you hated it. Tell me I'm a moron. I really don't care, but anything that you say helps us out too. So thank you again, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.